What up? It's your boy MC Channel. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, check out the playlist, all that good stuff. Now we're gonna put it down for the rest of the neighborhoods in Bakersfield. And for all the homeboys that be representing up here in Northern County, you know what I mean? Upstate Sureño. So starting off with
Live slow, live it up, watching time go. Planning moves, staying solid to this G code. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Live slow, live it up, watching time go. Making moves, staying solid to this G code. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. This how it is, the mission's Benjamins. And fuck the drama and the bullshit, we ain't little kids. My circle small, but my riders heart, they never quit. Get your money, keep it gangster, solid, straight legit. Never switch like the real ones that die for this. It's fucked up, but this is truly how it is. I hope you're ready if you're picking this like full of sin.
now here you have Loma Bakers, but not to be confused with the Hillside, because there's two Loma Bakers. This is the original, the larger out of the two. The one now. Loma Bakers has a big chunk of territory. It's a deep barrio in itself, and they got a big chunk of territory. I'm telling you, it's one of the neighborhoods over here in Bakersfield that you definitely hear about. That definitely puts it on the map. And these guys ain't no joke, homie. These guys are definitely with the business. You can find them on Heritage Park or Jefferson Park. Posted on either park, by Harley or Alta Vista Drive, Beale Avenue, what's between California and Bernard Street. So everything, from north of California and south of Bernard Street, it's what's known as the Lomas Bakers territory, and that's a big chunk of territory. I mean, like, they with the business. I mean, like they got their block on lockdown. You know what I mean? Like I said, they got numbers. You definitely hear about them. It's a neighborhood that law enforcement definitely has a hard time combating, and this fighter definitely be putting their fighter on the map and holding it down and representing for theirs. You know what I mean? These guys ain't no chumps. Um, they definitely be right there representing. And here's one of these other large sets over here in Bakersfield. You have the Greenfield Bakers, which is GBKS. Now the Greenfield Bakers is one of the large sets over here in Bakersfield. Now their neighborhood is where it's McKee Road and Union all the way to Shannon Drive. So everything that's in the middle is what's considered the Greenfield Bakers neighborhood. Now, like I said, homie, this is one of the large sets over here in Bakersfield. They got numbers. They got a large chunk of territory, and they be putting the neighborhood on the map, homie. They with the business, and obviously their neighborhood is right. They're located where in Bakersfield, where it's known as Greenfield. And yeah, this neighborhood definitely be putting in work. They use the Green Bay Packers as their symbol, obviously because of the G. So sometimes you'll see them wearing like a lot of green or blue. You know what I mean? But that's what's up with the Greenfield Bakers neighborhood right there. Um, they definitely with the business and definitely be putting their vibe on the map and holding it down right there. And here's the other Loma Bakers neighborhood, which is the Hillside Hustlers. Hillside Hustlers, or you see it, Hillside Loma Bakers or Loma Bakers Hillside, the Hillside neighborhood. Pues, now they may not be as old school as the other Lomas, but nonetheless, homie, they got their riders and, they be representing, even though you don't see them up as much as the rest of them. Um, Nonetheless, homie, they be representing. Now, their neighborhood is right there where it's Pioneer Drive and, Eucalyptus and Royal Way and Brooklyn Ridge Road is where their neighborhood's at. So that area, is not that big of territory, but nonetheless, homie, like I said, this neighborhood has got its riders, and they definitely be right there representing and putting it down for their rider. Here you also have the West Side Bakers neighborhood. Now the West Side Bakers neighborhood is right here. Their neighborhood is located where it's 34th Street, 31st Street, 33rd, 32nd, by Old Street. You know what I mean? By those areas is on the west of Bakersfield is what's a West Bakersfield neighborhood. Now this neighborhood is not that old school, roughly small, but nonetheless, homie, they be right there representing. You may not see them up as much or hear about them as much as the other Bakersfield neighborhood. But nonetheless, homie, these vatos will still be right there representing and holding it down for their side and putting their vato on the map. You feel me? Here you also have Eastside Bakersfield. Now Eastside Bakersfield, another one that has a pretty large chunk in territory. Their territory actually stays really close to the Colonia Bakers. Not to get them confused, because I know they're both representing the East Side and stuff like that. But Eastside Bakersfield and Eastside Colonia Bakersfield is two different neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Eastside Bakersfield. Now I know that their neighborhoods are separated by the highway. Um, you know what I mean? But Eastside Bakersfield is located by Sierra Middle School, by towards that end. You know, by Pioneer, uh, Nail Street, by where the Vallarta supermarket's at. You know, that's where Eastside Bakersfield territory's at. You know what I mean? And they large, they with the business. Got some rappers too. You guys should check them out. You know, right there putting it down for their barrio. Shout out to the homie Santo from Eastside Bakers right there. Firme Camarada, you know what I mean? Shout out to the homie Stomper, and shout out to all the homies from Eastside Bakers that be putting it on the map. And also right here you have Colonia Bakers, Eastside Colonia Bakers neighborhood. Not Colonia, obviously, you know, being the colony, you know, why it's labeled like that, you know, because, um, you know, it's pretty much everything right there symbolizes the colony right there on what's Oak Ridge, on Oak Ridge. So what's um, Potomac County Park, by that area, by Olwell Street, pretty much by the highway. What separates their neighborhood and East Side Bakersfield, just, you know, the highway right there. So this neighborhood definitely be with the business. One of the largest ones over here. One of the ones that you hear about the most over here. You know, heavily rooted. You know, very old school. You know, they're with the business, homie. You know, this neighborhood is definitely no chumps, homie. You definitely hear about Colonia Bakers, and they definitely be right there representing and putting their vital on the map. You know what I mean? These guys ain't no chumps. You come over here tripping. I mean, you already know what's cracking, homie. Um, these vatos are definitely right there holding it down. Shout out to the homie Spooky from Colonia, and shout out to all the homies right there representing and putting it on the map, homie.
Now here you have roughly one of the more smaller neighborhoods on this side, which is Rexland Park neighborhood. RP is, you know, how you'll see it up, or, you know, VRP. Now their neighborhood is located right there on Bryan Street and um, Garden Drive by Spark Street, Garber Way is, you know, close to where the Red Legs Park, um, the Acres Park is at. That's their territory. You know, it's the area, you know, that they claim theirs. You know, you can find them chilling, posted, you know, even at the park. You know what I mean? This neighborhood definitely with the business. Like I said, they may not be as large or as old school as the rest of the neighborhoods over here. But nonetheless, homie, they definitely, you know, put it down, you know, going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods right there. And definitely be putting in work. I know they go at it, you know, pretty heavily with I think it's YAKs. But yeah, that's what's up with the RP neighborhood right there, representing, putting their neighborhood on the map.